Hey everyone, what is going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Deborah with Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive. So if you've been following along, you know that I upload some wellness videos, and we've been talking a lot about what it actually means to be well. We know modern day, there's a lot of information that is thrown at us, and we are forced to kind of sift through and figure out what works best. Working with Ayurveda has been the thing that I've been working, I should back up, and say that I've been working with health and wellness for 20 plus years now. I've used food as medicine, always catered towards natural healing. I don't remember the last time I had, I'm just very health-minded. I'd rather try to do it naturally before I'm going to ingest anything that might have a bunch of side effects, right? That's just kind of how I look at it. And, if that's a belief that you subscribe to, then you'll probably enjoy this channel a little bit more, but with that in mind, when I found Ayurveda and started working with the protocols, it allowed me to tune in to my well-being on a different level, and what I would say is a more profound level. They consider Ayurveda the science of life, and it really is just that. It's been around for 5,000 to 6,000 years, and the information, the intricacy, and even the simplicity of describing, how things manifest in the body is so beautiful. It's actually written in shlokas or poems, but the texts are really amazing, just at how much wisdom, profound wisdom they had even that long ago. And what makes it so profound, in my opinion, is it is a lot about nurturing the body. We talked about this in, I believe, the previous well-being video that I uploaded about, utilizing that fire energy, that drive to maximize the benefits, and part of that means, yes, being proactive, pushing, making things happen, but also taking those times and those moments of rest. So Ayurveda is all about this kind of ebb and flow, the yin, the yang. It is a beautiful dance, and kind of just recognizing the times of day that our body thrives. So it's broken down. It believes in this concept of Purusha. Have you heard that before? Purusha is essentially the unmanifest potential. And Purusha dances with Prakriti in order to bring it into being. Did I say that right? I might. But essentially, I believe I did say that right. I believe that it is, I might have to edit that out. Excuse me for that one. So they essentially dance together in order to manifest the physical realm. And as they come into the physical realm, Ayurveda believes that it's made of the 5 different elements, the 5 Mahabhutas, which are ether, air, water, fire, and earth. So out of that is the 3 doshas, and that is, if you have ever looked into Ayurveda, that's probably what you're going to hear about the most, are the 3 doshas, which are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Vata governs movement, transportation. It is all about the channels or shrotas within the body, delivering that information, expelling waste, etc. Pitta is very closely linked to our digestive fire. it is what transforms nutrients. So when we ingest, whether that's food or whatever it is within our surroundings, when we ingest, it is Vata's job to move it down, right? Pitta is located in the Jathar Agni, is our digestive fire. It is right by the stomach area, and that is where that process begins to happen, the process of transformation, right? Taking that food, taking that bolus, and breaking it down with different enzymes and juices, etc., in order so the body can absorb the nutrients. And if Pitta is out of balance, if our digestive fire is quite weak, then it's going to take things a long time to process, or if we're burning through things, then we're going to feel hungry all the time. And then Kapha is the energy of cohesion and connectedness. It governs, the ligaments, the tissues, what kind of keeps our physiology together, so to speak. It is hardier, it's a slower energy, it has earth in it as well. Earth is very grounding, heavy, dense, etc. And so the Kapha is a little bit slower, but it's what, helps build the structure. So as long as we are receiving, Vata is delivering high quality nutrients, then Pitta can transform appropriately, and then Kapha can use that to build. But if we're taking in things that are, just not very good for us, then of course it's not going to produce quality physiology, right? They have this saying in Ayurveda, you can't make healthy tissue from undigested food, right? And that's such a common sense thing when you think about it. And that's why I love Ayurveda, because it looks more at the digestion versus what you are ingesting, right? So obviously, there are still those aspects where, if you're eating a bunch of fat or sugar or things that are processed foods, things that are not natural, it is going to result in certain things, right? But there still is that element of everything in moderation, everything in balance, and that is what Ayurveda is all about. We each have, like I was talking about earlier, we each have a different prakriti, and that basically talks about that combination of dosha, so the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, are in different quantities within our physiology. And that's why, you can go online, take a dosha quiz. They're really awesome, just to kind of know how you fare. It's bizarre how on point it is, I've mentioned before, I love activity, going, doing, making things happen, as soon as I get up in the morning, I'm ready to go, baby, and probably do way too much. I can totally own that, which is against Ayurveda. That is not Ayurvedic. Shame, Deborah. But that is the Vata in me. But then I also have a lot of Pitta. Oftentimes my Pitta manifests through my skin. I have red undertones. I can break out easy or get rashes, etc. I can get a lot of acid or indigestion. That is, again, just that overproduction of Pitta. It's an inflamed Pitta. Any type of inflammation we might have in the body, toxins in the blood, etc. That's all Pitta related. And that's actually what I should probably, talk about next is those three doshas are a combination, like I said, of those 5 Mahabhutas, or the 5 elements. So Vata is ether and air, Pitta is fire and water, and then Kapha is water and earth. So if you think about those elements in terms of their qualities, the way that they express certain things, like I said, if you understand that, there's heat in my body. It's feeling inflamed. Then you can counteract it with something cooling, right? Like a yogurt or milk if you do dairy. You can also do coconut water. It's incredibly cooling and soothing. Mint or spearmint, mint water, cucumbers. There's so many things that you can take then to kind of help balance out, the aggravation. And it's amazing like how quickly our body responds, which ironically enough is what it's supposed to do, right? That's the big secret. We forget in Western culture, Western medicine, modern day, that our body is sending us signals, right? Like if it feels a certain way, if we have an ache or pain, if we're feeling a little fuzzy in our throat, or we have a headache, or it's sending us that message because something is out of balance. Our body is always trying to find homeostasis, right? It's always trying to find its happy equilibrium. And when we get those messages that something's out of alignment, that's where, if we're, conscious enough, we can tune in and say, hey, like I'm feeling some kind of way right now. What does this feel like to me? Am I feeling too sluggish and slow? Is my digestion not moving? Do I need to drink some hot water, Or maybe you do need to get some caffeine in your body, especially if you're having a headache. I'm not a doctor, I should say, side note. I don't, replace, I'm not taking legal responsibility. I just have to say that, no shade to anyone. I always recommend getting doctor's advice, especially if you have any type of medical condition. These are just suggestions that we can do when, it hasn't escalated so bad. Ayurveda is considered preventative medicine. Preventative medicine meaning that these are protocols and practices you implement on the day-to-day basis in order to prevent disease, right? Ayurveda believes that there's 6 stages of disease. When someone chooses to go to the doctor or the hospital, that's when disease has manifested to stage 4. So think about that. There's 3 steps we can do beforehand in order to kind of bring ourselves back into balance and therefore prevent disease. And that's what Ayurveda gives you, It's all about that counteracting, bringing into balance. And the coolest thing, in my opinion, is because it is a breakdown of the 5 elements, of the 3 doshas, everything in our environment is comprised of those things. It makes it a little bit easier to say, okay, how would I counteract that fire? I'm feeling like watery and bloated and like I'm drowning. So what could help me dry out a little bit, Or, I've gained a couple extra pounds. How can I scrape that off, etc.? Ayurveda has an answer to everything. And most often it's about counteracting whatever the problem is. So I hope you enjoyed this little excerpt on Ayurveda. It is a wealth of knowledge and information. I'm excited to talk about, share, discuss these things with you more as time progresses and we build more content. I really appreciate your listening ear, the love, support. If you like the video, definitely do a thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let's build this community. If you are interested in any personal services, check out what's available in the description box below. Otherwise, I hope to see you around. Sending lots of love and light and blessings always. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a lovely rest of your day.